Hello and welcome to a personal code of conduct. It's me Deo lol. Today we will be using the text-to-speech British dude's voice, because I am uninterested in speaking and I have unfortunately rediscovered Xianxia novels, so I am blazing through a passable novel, and as usual I am terrified about the next day. Dreadful Monday. I am still trying to plus ultra my existence, but I haven't answered the glaring question of why. Why on earth should I struggle to excel? I get that I need food, housing, and general nonsense that only serve to entertain me because I know nothing beyond my own existence, my own fears and my busy mind. I desire glory, power, prosperity, but I feel like I lack willpower and courage. I tire of just finding ways to amuse myself, and work can be engaging, interesting and insightful, yet I never actively seek to create or to develop myself. How about I create the Power BI thing? It turned out too hard, too involved, and I didn't have the right equipment. I am thinking of trying it with a system I have better control over, even if it is slow, so I can do better editing and move heavier files. I darno literally just got confident in drawing in heads, but I am probably going to forget. Existence is stressful. My life is in the upper 75th percentile of how good your life can be as a youth in the third world. I am filled with discontent but lack vision, or should I say ambition. I will not be held back by imposter syndrome anymore, lol. I almost laughed when I typed that, but on a serious note I need to stop being terrified of humans. Worst they can do to me is either straight up kill or make me unemployable, so I won't be able to afford sanity by shopping or exclude me from social circles. Either way that results in death. I don't know why I am being so gloomy today, maybe because tomorrow is the start of a challenge. I am just glad to be able to use Wi-Fi again. Oh, I hope I don't have COVID. I have been far from COVID responsible. I want to create something of value, something worth consuming. I want to feel alive. I should go for a run. I should exercise without a plan. I am starting to tire of follow-alongs and scheduling issues. I want to work where the team has an idea what is going on. I want efficiency. I hate that people have shit that makes them feel insecure and they are so hateful to everyone else. I am proud of myself for improving my assertive and ignoring the self-doubt that plagues me. I am proud of myself for reasoning with people and making an effort to defend myself in their most vicious state. I still fail miserably, but I know I am growing, and that's great. Not gonna lie, I wished I worked alone, but this is much needed practice if I ever want to stop being terrified of people or generally not being irritated anytime I have to interact with humans. But subject matter, work, is awesome. You just keep talking about the task at hand.
This feels like a lot more. Well, enough of that rant. When I downloaded it I was surprised that it was only 3 minutes long. What the frick can I do in 3 minutes? This feels like a lot more work than just getting my laptop out and recording the damn thing, but I can do like the question and user thing I usually do on websites more efficiently. I won't quit in the middle of reading the idea. So I googled motivation to exist, then reason to exist. Then I found an article, then shocker lol, Deo didn't agree with the first line. Just so you know, this British dude will sound different. Maybe I should listen to this one regularly to improve my pronunciation of everything. The issue is I can't download this one, so there will be background noise as I use a recorder in while it plays. I have decided to continue even though it's stressful. So death on this hill and there is no going back. Back to the article. I feel like I am ignoring this lady's feelings, but the first paragraph is against my understanding of Ubuntu, and I somehow cheapens the existence of others simply because we aren't experiencing it. I feel even weirder since it feels like I am being hypocritical. Anyways, let's begin. First she says, somehow in the formation of my birth, I must have missed a step. My brain was not programmed to survive on autopilot like the rest of human race. I think this is unfair to all of humanity. Although I also cannot read minds, I do not believe that anyone functions on autopilot, even individuals whose actions may seem extremely reactionary or without purpose. Because even with all my Ubuntu, I know I unconsciously judge people harshly. People operate according to their own definition of logic, to their own idea of what is right. Their reasoning may be faulty by my personal standards, but who am I to tell people what to think? I can Their reasoning may be faulty by my personal standards, but who am I to tell people what to think? I can only persuade using their own preferences or just straight up use force if I have the power, and I value them very little. A lot of brilliant people are often saying something along the line of the problem with society are fools thinking their ignorance is equal to my wisdom. But in the grand scheme of things it is not the same. You are both going to die. Your lives are both not going to matter. Wisdom might be of great value, but it is like 0.infinity greater than the average human importance of minus infinity. I know this is an exaggeration, but my own baseless conviction is that people don't run on autopilot regardless of whether you agree with the logic or not. She then says, "Death felt like liberation to me. At age 5, waking up every day was tedious. Going through the motions of what we call life felt robotic. I started a virtual time machine in my head, propelling myself ahead a few decades and tried to envision my life." She is not alone. I tried to fill my mind with exciting stories of me being an amazing whatever profession had caught my fancy at the moment. But thankfully the fact I could focus on the wants and emotions of individuals around me allowed me to forget my thoughts. People drag you away from maladaptive daydreams. I have seen individuals who choose not to be dragged away and just stay there locked away from reality until they are dragged out through punishment, but then they come to associate the real world with suffering and fall deeper and deeper till when they completely lose interest in participating in it. She says, "My survival instinct was simply missing right from the start. Most people don't question why they live. They would survive at all odds. They would go on with their lives because they are afraid of death. Like I said before, I think everyone questions why they live, but not everyone is able to stick to answer they can aggressively hold on. An answer that allows them to avoid the questions. An answer that will grant them peace. Some people that don't have an answer distract themselves with pleasure or suffering or in pursuit of glory and status. Others without the answers just drown themselves in the question, until it swallows them whole." I think the part about being unafraid of death is where we finally differ, and I will not try to present my viewpoint as a better truth, because this matter concerns mostly your personal feelings about your own body, and I will not question your beliefs about yourself. But death will come to us all. Some people say that since it will come to eventually, why rush? Others use the answers that give them a reason to live to give a reason to embrace death. "I am filled with the fear of death because I do not have a reason to embrace death." She seems to not have an answer for existence, but she has made peace with non-existence, with being outside our current status, with what comes after whatever that is. But she says she has changed and she found a reason to exist. I guess I was disappointed in her reason. Her reason was to fill herself with beautiful stories. While I still do not agree, maybe I will when I am older, but I do relate with her self-diagnosis on why she felt she lacked a reason to exist. She says, "Because I was hopelessly idealistic about the world. I couldn't understand why humanity seemed to be so unabashedly selfish when it was obvious to me that being compassionate and generous was the only selfish. I couldn't understand why humanity seemed to be so unabashedly selfish when it was obvious to me that being compassionate and generous was the only selfish way to survive. That humanity can only be sustainable through sharing and amplifying each other's resources. It was really depressing for me to live in a world I believed wasn't capable of change. The things I have seen, immense suffering that humans can inflict on one another, and I am greatly ashamed that the leading thought in my head is, I hope that never becomes me, rather than help. I am frustrated that we can't regrow missing, useless limbs or fix malnourishment in adult. We just have to get richer and wait for the afflicted generation to pass away. What I want is for my country and continent to be stable. I want the world to be comfortably mundane. For people to have a clear path to contribute to the growth of society and amuse themselves while feeling like they aren't missing out on anything till they die. I want a 9 to 3 with commute times less than 1 hour to and fro. I want to have hobby meets. But somehow I feel like I would still feel empty if all these things appeared. Ignore ear.
This turned out way more stressful than it ought to have been, not gonna lie. Not worth it at all. And this is why I don't write a script. But then again, it's a short episode. Bye.